Every day of my sophomore year at Xavier High School, my friends and I would arrive at Mr. Goldsmith's social studies room for third period world history. And because we got there early, the door was shut because he hadn't dismissed the previous class. So we stared at the back of the door. And on the back of the closed door, there hung this quote. This is what it said. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's all of it. I thought it sounded nice, and I enjoyed reading it every day as I waited for that door to open and enter the classroom. But even after a year of reading it every day, it still didn't really take effect. It wasn't until years later that this idea of being powerful beyond measure and making manifest the glory of God finally blossomed. I didn't really think I was inadequate, like the quote says. I was very good at the trumpet, and people generally liked me, but I was still thinking way too small because in high school and college, I was focused on my plans. Be a music teacher, continue to be liked by people, make money, have a family. These goals are not bad at all, but they weren't quite right for me. The Lord wanted His glory to shine through me, to use my talents and energy not to serve myself, but to serve Him. Saint Irenaeus says, "The glory of God is man fully alive." The glory of God is man fully alive. And a human fully alive is living to their full potential. And living to your full potential means being holy. This concept is not about working hard or doing it yourself or success or achievement in a worldly sense. It's not about making money or winning. It's about fulfilling your potential in whatever God has called you to do. St. Paul says in the reading today, He saved us and He called us to a holy life, not according to our works, but according to His own design. God's design is for all of us to be fully alive by being holy. And you can be holy no matter what your job or your vocation is. If God has led you to be a wife or a mother, be a holy wife and mother. If God has led you to be a farmer, then be a holy farmer. If right now in your life you are a student, be a holy student. Being holy is living and cooperating with the Lord with every breath, every step, every moment of your day. I think the Transfiguration account demonstrates this and baptizes that quote. On the mountaintop, Jesus' clothes and His skin become so dazzlingly bright. He wasn't just letting His light shine, it was dazzling and blinding His friends. Jesus allows Himself to be seen as He truly is, the Lord, powerful beyond measure. The Father says from the clouds, "This is my beloved Son with whom I am well pleased." Jesus doesn't hide or downplay His belovedness. In fact, He talks about it with Moses and Elijah, who are standing right next to Him. Why Moses and Elijah? These two Old Testament figures represent the keys to holiness, the law and the prophets. The law came from Moses and Elijah, the prophet of God, speaking about how we are to act to one another. Poor Peter, though, he's thinking too small. He offers to build 3 tents or booths right there. And this can have 2 meanings. He wants to commemorate this event with the Old Testament practice of building a tent or a booth. He also wants to stay there in that glorious, peaceful moment. And they are afraid. This vision of glory and belovedness and blinding light and holiness is just too much for them. But Jesus doesn't think small. His thoughts are in line with the Father, and he knows that they must leave that happy place, go down into the valley, leave the mountaintop, and go to die in Jerusalem and be raised again. The apostles are afraid of what that could mean. I think they're also afraid of their own potential to be completely and fully holy, to completely and fully belong to God. That's scary. Maybe just 75 or 80%. I'll be holy. The rest, let's not worry about that. The Lord wants all of us to be fully alive. When you come forward today to receive the Eucharist, you will say, I believe in that same Jesus who was on that mountaintop, and we ourselves will be transfigured in a way. There will be a light shining within us that hopefully doesn't blind others, but brings them to illumination and to conversion. And then, depending on what door you walk outside of, maybe it's the middle one, just newly installed next to the commandments of stone, we have the Beatitudes in stone right across. Just like Elijah and Moses standing on his left and right, we, transfigured, glowing, will have on our left and right the law, the 10 Commandments, and the voice of the prophets, Beatitudes, telling us to seek the heights. I pray that this second week of Lent, we may reflect on how are you thinking small? How are you staying close to the ground? And then how is God inviting you to think big and achieve and pursue holiness? Amen.